Yo, what's up, everybody? Let me know how the sound is. It should be good. I did some settings. See, are we good? Looks like. Cause yeah, what's up, buddy? Sergeant J, Addicted, Hunter, HTX, what's up, dude? Rocky Mountain Bashers, what's up, man? I already said hi to Hunter. What's up, dude? How you guys doing? Just checking up on chat real quick. Yeah, looks like I got everybody, I think. Sounds good. Beautiful. Good. Should be 1080p today because I'm by myself. So I'm going straight through OBS. So it should be a little better video quality for you. We're about to have this rain switch to snow and ice. Ugh, gross. It was like 80 yesterday. It's only like, I know only, but like 60 something. But it's like raining on and off and super windy. So I figured after that run, if you guys haven't watched that video, go check it out. I posted it yesterday. I should have linked it in the description, but I forgot. If one of my mods, if you're be so kind to take the link from my most recent video on this, posted yesterday, and put it in chat, I'd much appreciate it, please. Because if you haven't watched it, check it out. She took some good hits. She did really good. There's a couple things I want to do after yesterday's run. I want to thicken up the center diff. I'm thinking about doing the front and rear disc, but I'm going to start with the center diff. I want to thicken that up first. And I think we're going to swap out the shock juice in the shocks. Because if you go watch that video, it does a lot of this. That's a bad angle. It does a lot of this. You see how springy it is? When it hits, and it likes to go and flip over. So I think we might thicken up the shocks a little bit. Because I see someone complain about that. They're like, oh, it always hits and flips. I'm like, that's shock tuning. Like, I had to do that on a few different trucks. So we might thicken up the shocks fluid just a little bit, just so it doesn't do the hop all the time. And yeah, if we go live, we chat, talk about the video if you watched it. If not, go check it out. Addicted, appreciate it. Go check that video out. Linked in the chat. You ain't gonna miss much. You got snow today? Damn. You take out the XRT? Hell yeah, dude. Someone said they took their UDR to work. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Solid rig. You like being surprised? Yeah. Yeah, we had like a downpour last night and it's been raining on and off all day. Like right now the sun's out, but it's like super windy and then like it'll get cloudy and rain again. So I figured we'd do some ranching. Oh, yeah, I love the vid. Nice, dude. I appreciate it. Again, feel free to share it. Send it to your buddies that are in RC, or if they're not, be like, hey, dude, you gotta get one of these. Much appreciated. Because, like I said, we're on a steady incline, so much appreciated if you guys even just watch and like the videos. I much appreciate you guys. But if you can, share it out to your buddies, please. But yeah, dude, this thing took some hell of a hits. I'm really glad I did the screens on my fans. I do it on all my rigs. Some people say it's stupid, but the amount of because like sometimes if you go through grass and stuff, these will get packed, so you have to wipe them off. But at least it's not getting in the fan. Um, but yeah, we're gonna pull that. And if you didn't watch the video, this pin retainer got ripped off. It the pins didn't come out because it's like stuck on here, but hopefully M2C is coming up with something to cover that. Because partially because of the way my ramp is and how low this is, I'm catching a lot of roots and stuff as I'm driving, so it's always pulling on this pin retainer. But other than that, dude, absolute tank. It took some hard lawn darts, flips. I'm really impressed with it. I really am. I tend to almost drive it like a 6S rig until I hit a rut or something, like a tiny stick or something, and it flips. I'm like, it's not a 6S. You know what I mean? Like it's honestly really impressive. Thank you, Addicted. Much appreciated. Yeah, hey, what's up, Sausage Jay? Yeah, dude, it really is. And these backflips made a big difference. Again, not saying the stock tires are bad by any means, but for my drive style and stuff, and if you notice in that video, especially that one in the air, I just hit the gas and it rotated like on a dime, and it was a little rougher with these tires. These backflips grip really well, and it's just honestly my preferred tire for bashing. But overall, I'm really impressed with the truck. Just this one little minute thing and a little bit of tuning, just like any other RC. We're gonna thicken up the center a little bit and run some thicker fluid in the rear shocks, I think, just so we don't get that hoppiness. It really is a tough little rig. You put on anything else? No, only fans, bud. That's it. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised, man. And that whole run yesterday was done with the Go Fast plug. I always forget what they call it. I'm going to keep calling it a Go Fast plug, but it's called the Power Guard. They should really just call it like something not as fancy, but you'll order one soon. Those tires and spare parts because it will be a skate park. Yeah, speaking of that, I showed KGN the skate park I'm going to go to. It's got a pool. It's got all kinds of. It's going to be sick. Bowls RC, what's up, buddy? Yard bashing RC, what's up, dude? Yard is a swamp right now. No bashing for me today. About to order those backflips here in a bit. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I highly recommend backflips and yard bashing. I don't know if you've ever been alive. Much appreciate you stopping in, bud. But yeah, we're gonna thicken up the center. And if you were here before, bashing. Sorry, I don't remember. But either way, much appreciated, dude. But yeah, let's get the center diff out and thicken her up. Like I said, it's just a little bit of tuning, and this thing's gonna be an absolute beast, dude. Let's see what the bench one looks like. Yeah, because this one, since I'm so used to the bigger trucks, my cameras are set up for the real big trucks on my bench. So I just want to see how we're looking with these cameras. Get a Mini Kraton for your girlfriend for her birthday. Hell yeah, dude. That's sick, dude. I'm pretty sure these are all twos. Yeah. So it looks like this entire cover here comes off in one piece. Along with this, you got to pull this side screw out and then just honestly take all these screws out. And this entire thing should just pop out, it looks like. So that's what we're going to do. And if we do something else, we'll figure it out as we go, as per usual. But I'm pretty sure that's how it comes out. Great video right there. Which my video? If you're talking about that, I appreciate it, dude. If it's someone else's, hell yeah. So we're gonna try. I'm gonna place these in order they're coming out because I'm not sure if any are different lengths. It would be really nice if they're all the same, but who knows? So we're gonna put the four facing the front to the front on the right side here, and we're just line them up just as they come out. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna all be the same length. Hopefully they are. Yep, so far same length. And we got this cover here. Right. All right, so the gear cover ones are longer, so that would be that side. Like the ones closest to the motor. So the right side one on the motor on this side is longer than this one. So we gotta remember that. So because I'm looking at it like this. So these four here, center, far right, long one next to the motor, short one on the other side of the motor, and we just gotta do the back four and the pin in the front, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like all of them but that one is the same length. Yeah, that's actually pretty easy then. So they're all these screws are, hold on, let me see. All the same, hold on. What am I doing? All these screws are the same length except this one right here next to the right side of the motor. That's a longer one. That's it. All the others are the same length, which is convenient. Just that one we got to remember. And then it looks like this one has to come out for the battery tray. I think this is like a pin. Yeah, it's pin and threaded. So if you can see, there's like threads at the very top here, and then it's a pin at the bottom. So that's for the battery tray. And looking at it, it looks like I should be able to just pull this whole cover off in one go. I think. Maybe? There. Maybe there's something underneath the skid plate, maybe? This is battery tray. Because that splits right there. And when it splits, comes up. It might just be snug. And then it looks like this all comes off in one piece. All right, kid, Jenny, take it easy, buddy. Notorious Mini next. I don't know, dude. That'd be sick. That or a an Outcast would be cool. Same truck, really. I'm getting a Mini Kraton. I've seen that. Okay. What's in the box? What's up, buddy? So I really feel like this should just pop up. Let's do a little prying, but nothing too crazy. So I don't know if it's like snapped on or if it's I have to pull that bottom uh skid. Maybe there's a screw under there. But the way this looks like it splits apart, I don't think so. Yeah, it's coming up. Is the rear the same? The front is loose. Yeah, so the front is up. You didn't miss a screw. I'm wondering if there's something underneath that skid plate or if there's a the screw. That looks like it's for the ESC. Does this just pop up? It really looks like it just pops up. Underneath, that's what I'm thinking too. What we're going to do real quick is I'm going to check the exploded view real quick that came with. Probably underneath the skid plate. No, nothing comes up from the bottom. Here's the exploded view. So all these, those, There's nothing coming up from the bottom, even underneath the chassis. It's just the things for the skid or the chassis support. Looks like it should just pop up. It's all the screws that go into that. There's literally no other screws going under it. And these are all short. Ours long time no see, right? Sandra J, he's the man, dude. So what we're gonna do some sketching, just do a little bit of tugging on it. Huh. Is there maybe the rear pins here are holding this cover on? If you look right here, those rear pins look like they come through this cover. Maybe that's what's holding it, because it's tight right there, because it's loose in the front. Yeah, I really think it's just those top pins, because there's nothing. And the exploded view does not show any screws gone underneath it. So I'm pretty sure those top pins have to come out as well. Because those, and then those pins, and then where's there's those. Yeah, I think it's just those top pins in the rear, because I'm not seeing any other screws. So let's back those out and see what happens. Think they're screw pins? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's the two pins up here that go into the arms in the rear. Looks like a cover for the pins back here. See if we can pop this off. Yeah, there's it's definitely it. It looks like I have to. Do I have to remove the shock tower? Bear with me, guys. I've never messed with this before, so we're learning as we go. Because I really don't think there's any screws under this. Like looking at the exploded views and stuff, the only other thing that's holding this on is those pins for the rear arms. And I'm 99% sure all these are the same length. So the ones towards the front are longer, or the one side is longer. All right, good thing I'm doing these in order. Oh, before I go too far, where's my Sharpie? I'm just gonna put a dot here, just so I know that's the longer one. Theoretically, this should pop off now. Again, I'm probably taking off way too much, but I just gotta see how this goes together. It comes apart. Yeah, there's no other screws down here. So it's totally that top pin retainer needs to come out and pull those pins. So it looks like, how do I take, looks like, is that part standalone? It looks like it's part of the shock tower. Let's see. Yeah, I have spare shock tower. Maybe it's part of the diff cover. Yeah, it looks like part of the diff cover. All right, so I had to take this wing off anyway because, yeah, I removed the wing. That's what I'm doing now. Because it looks like part of the diff cover is part of that pin retainer. I had to take this wing off later anyway because I want to try to reseat that pin retainer for the bottom. And there's two screws on top here. Before I lose these, let's put these back just to keep track. We just set it, dropped it here, there. So yeah, it looks like this is what I was talking about. This pin retainer, is this part removable by itself? Yeah, this pin retainer looks like it's can pop off by itself. It should. Yeah, it definitely does. No, it's molded to the. It's definitely molded to the diff cover. All right. Well, that's annoying. That's a weird design on their behalf because if you want to change the gearing, you got to pull your wing off and the diff cover. It looks like. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's starting to look like. I'm sure it helps with how strong it is, but these two pins are definitely in there that needs to come off. And to get to your gearbox, that's a pain. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Yep, that's what it was. So that whole diff cover that has a built-in pin retainer for that cover. And then these pins should just slide out a little bit. I think this should just pop up now because there's no other screws holding it, nothing else. Is it just on that snug? Those pins had to come out though, for sure. Where is Mini Baja right next? That'd be cool. I'm telling you, it should just pull up. It looks like. Looks like all just one piece. And there's no other screws under this at all. It definitely just has to pull up. There it is. Yeah. There's a look at the inside. There's the center diff, the bearings, and whatnot. Little baby diff. The mesh is actually really good. But yeah, all that. That's the one thing I don't like so far. Is you have to pull this whole ass end off and expose the diff just to remove that pin retainer. Oh no, you don't. I lied. I take that back. They stop short. So what we're gonna do, again, we're learning as we go. I'm sure there's videos on this, but I don't do that. I kind of like to figure it out as I go. So for you guys, if you ever have to get in here, you don't have to do all that. I should have just used my channel locks ahead of time. So I take back that bad design. It's not. So they stop pretty because it looks like they go into here, but they don't. So you don't have to do what I just did. So good. And like I said, learn as I go. I'm not one to really watch a video on how to do this stuff. I'd rather just learn as I go. Plus, I had a chance to look at the diff, and it's all greased up and stuff, so that's good. But before we get anything gunked up in this diff, we're going to put this back together real quick. So that's good to know. You don't have to pull that. It just looked like it the way it was designed. It's a pretty cool design. Okay. Go down. There we go. We're going to put this back together before we lose anything. So this little short guy goes in there. Lauren, what's up, buddy? RC Crew, what's up, dude? Bought up. What's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? So if you have to do this or change the gearing, don't do that. Just use some channel locks once all the top screws are out, and just give it a good pull. Now, is there an easy way to get the center shaft out? I say, Don't want that to go in there. Little baby rock. Just taking a look at how I can get this center shaft out. It is a metal center shaft, so that's cool. Is that broken? Where's my center cover? It's a weird design. Those steering knuckles in the front, they just have two nipples sticking up, and they have to line up when you snap these on. Interesting. That looks like that's going to be a pain in the butt to put back on. Can I pull this out? So these two holes here, there's two nipples sticking out for steering that these have to line up. And this one has some play or like room in it, but it looks like it's by design. Interesting. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I shouldn't have put that cover on. I was just worried about schmutz getting in there. It's my little pliers. Yeah, oh, they're there. Little baby diff. Little baby diff. We might put some juice in there. It feels almost empty. I know it's small, but put that out of the way. Goes in. Only their key to only go in one way, so that's good. Boom. And there's the little baby center diff. So let me grab a towel. So now we're gonna take a sip. I was thinking about the same thing, American. Um, I was looking at them. I was like, I wonder if they'll fit the Typhon, the mini what is it? The Grom I have. We can check later. All right, so we're getting there. Come out. I want to separate. That's just a gear. Is this how you would re-gear it? I guess because this looks like this pops off. That might just be for the gear. Again, we're learning as we go. I've never taken this apart before. I don't want to scratch that up too much. There it is. Yeah, this is how you would re-gear it. That's pretty cool. So that's just held on. Almost kind of looks like a Traxxas gear. And then you would just line these up. Just push it down. All right, cool. We'll flip it over and take the other side off. Like I said, learn as we go. Get that on there. And once you do this once, you're good. You can you can almost do it blindfolded now. Flip her around, put this bearing back on before I forget. Oh, this is an energy drink. This is not. So we're gonna pull this gear off, pull this bearing, maybe. All right, now we're gonna back this off. It's got some decently thick juice in there, actually. A little thin for my liking, but not horrible, honestly. Yeah, it's not. I'm gonna up it. I'm not sure. Is that 500K? No, it feels a little less than 500, at least from what I'm doing right now. There's a grub screw and an axle hub. No, I don't drink IPAs, Hunter. Come on, dude. Give me a tall yellow Jack and Colony. That's too early. Yeah, dude, it's early for you, right? Can't complain about the price. Yeah, dude, you really can't. Question: I need two RTR crawlers that I can run with my brother-in-law at the same time, and not the mini ones. He has cancer and just, AKA, he got him out. What's your budget? Let's start there. And there's actually a few people in here that are good with crawlers and stuff too, so we can all help out. Addicted, Sergeant J, and stuff. So first, let's start with your budget, and then we'll go from there. Damn, it's windy. I'm not gonna try to get all this out. I'm not going too crazy, guys. It's so weird to work on a little baby diff. I'm so used to like fist scales. Little baby gears. Is that for both? Like, I know Axial just released. I don't know if they're out yet. Those Toyotas, they look pretty legit. Again, I don't know if they're out yet. Or like those SCX, or not SCX, the 10 threes. What are they called? Per car or for both? That's what I'm asking. Probably for both, I would assume. But those 10 threes, I forget. There's a few versions of it. Those are pretty solid. Or the Traxxas TRXs, I think they're called. Those are solid little rigs. Couple SCX 10 threes. Yeah, see, there we go. So I thought. Or like I said, those Traxxas TRXs or whatever the hell they're called. Those crawlers are pretty legit. Get a screwdriver applicator here. Yeah, you can run both at the same time. It's not like the old days where like you had AM radios and crystals and stuff. Yeah, this is definitely a little thicker. Again, I'm doing a horrible job, but it's such a tiny diff. I should be able to pack this with just a screwdriver. Yeah, it doesn't stretch as much. Yeah, it's definitely a little thicker. That's what we're looking for. Try to get this all down in there. Real nice and deep black. Yeah, get in there. Let that settle a little. Uh, Axial Coyote and his killer. I haven't seen one of those. Yeah, see, they won't interfere, bud. You like all the new ones, like you should be pretty solid, no issues. But yeah, like Sergeant J said, I heard really good things about those 10 threes. Again, those Traxxas crawlers are really decent. I hear really good things, and they have a little more scale look to them. So does the T3s, or 10 threes, I should say. The TRX4 Sport, yeah. See the TRX4 Sport, and then they also have the other one with the remote locking differentials, depending how crazy you want to get. But yeah, I would pick between those two for sure. Get two boxes, and we both open them and go play. Hell yeah! Just a heads up, a lot of them don't come with batteries and a charger. So you kind of have to get batteries and chargers too. But it comes with the controller, the truck, and stuff. But a lot of them don't come with chargers or a battery. So just keep that in mind. Get a couple of those coyotes. Come with batteries and charger for $3.99 each. That keeps you under. There you go. Yeah, if you're ordering for Horizon, I think if it's $99 or more, it's free shipping. But I always do the $6.99 just to cover my butt. I just like the little. I'd rather if I'm spending the money, what's another $6 for a little better shipping? You got batteries and chargers for actual stuff. All right, then just making sure. I wasn't sure how knowledgeable you were. If you were like newer to the hobby, if you weren't sure, because it is a little deceiving when something says RTR, like ready to run, and it doesn't come with batteries. Hold on, I'm gonna close my garage door because this wind is getting insane. One moment. Yeah, I like that. Oh, thank you. He is. I need to get him out. Yeah, dude, definitely for sure. I actually have a video like a few days after my dad died. Um, I took me and my mom to my old bash spot. Um, I understand when some people are like, "Oh, you play with toy cars and stuff," but like, perfect scenario. You know what I mean? Get you out, you have good fun, you're laughing and stuff. Like my mom had a blast. You know what I mean? And she never ran an RC car. You know what I mean? But she ended up blowing up the motor in it and stuff because she just full trigger. But it was a blast. You know what I mean? We had so much fun. So I definitely get it, man. That's good for you, man. Get them out there. Red Cat Ascend Apex 18. You love it? Nice. All of them in real crawling, cheaper too. And it all depends on the size and what you want to do. Because I'm not a scale kind of guy, but when it comes to crawlers, I kind of like the scale look on a crawler. And this is coming from a guy that has a crazy. Thanks for that subscription, man. If you're here during the live, if it's from a video, thank you anyway. But what was I saying? I forget. Oh, having those crawlers looking kind of like super real. And I have like a whole completely decked out Capra with four wheel steer and stuff. But even to me, that's a little scale because it's like one of those unlimited rock crawlers that you see doing crazy stuff that they custom build. That should be enough diff juice in there. Went from 85 degrees yesterday to 40. Yeah, dude. Um, that's what was here. It was like 86 yesterday, and right now it's like 60. Windy as hell. How you doing, Venom? How's life, buddy? So these are keyed. So you gotta make sure you key these up correctly. Oh, addicted. Sorry, yesterday. I don't know if you heard me during the chat. At one point, I was like, "Where the hell my chat go and stuff?" And it like reset, and I lost all the chats. And I went to rewatch my live just to see how the quality was. I went through. And I seen you ask where your invite was. I thought you were still out with your kids, but I would have added you yesterday. My bad, dude. Doing good. Supposed to get to 45 mile per hour winds today in Jersey. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys are getting you have a really crappy winter this year. I'm not gonna say I miss it because I don't. Sorry, guys. I know it's a weird angle, but like I said, my setup's really set up for like the bigger trucks. So working on these, I gotta working on tiny trucks. I gotta kind of figure out a better. So I actually might take this, what you guys are on now, make it smaller, and put it on the my bench, just for a better view for you guys. Turn this down to 2 because we're not working on fifth scales right now. I might get the upgraded center diff for this, the metal one, just because. Like I said, I'm really digging this truck, man. I tend to drive it like the 6S. It just handles so well. It like you don't realize that it's a tiny truck while you're driving it, and then you hit like a little stick or something, and it flips, and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's a 16 scale." I really think they killed it. Little things, like I said, you gotta do some tuning and stuff, but that's true with most trucks. But overall, pretty impressed with it, man. Sergeant J, what are you waiting for? So I'm gonna try to put this little gear back on, put it all in together. So you got a bearing, two bearings. There's like a little spacer in between that bearing and then your gear. Two problems. Child RYFTs. One for crawling, one for bashing. Money pits. Get sorted out. Hey man, part of the hobby, I think. Is it scale? Yeah. Okay. I understood that. Yeah. This thing is like I said, the thing impresses me more and more every time I run it. So let's sorry, this might be actually we could do this. At least you can see that part. Slide up. Okay. So this needs to go in here like so. Make sure the bearings line up. This goes. Come out. There's one bearing slid down. There's my little screwdriver. Why we can't have nice things. I need to add my little screwdriver to this little toolbox here. Is are right here. So we gotta slide this bearing up a little. Of course, I grabbed the Phillips. No. Can I put this in? Let me just see without it. So that one goes like that. The big ones, and then these. This is just going to be a bear to try to line up and push down at the same time. You're still close. There we go. Sorry if that was a bad angle. I had to see what I was doing. BEA beautiful. Those bearings are all seated. Good to go. So we put, if you're just joining, we just put 500K in the center diff on the what is this? Mini Kraton. Here's if you can. Come on, Sergeant J. All right, so before I go any further, let me put the rear diff back in. But should I put juice in here? That's either super thin or super empty. Before I take that apart, let me see what kind of diff juice I got. Because I have stuff for big stuff. I got 60K shock fluid. That's 60 weight. 60K, 30K. What is this? This is shock juice too. What weight is this? 50? We actually might use that. 60K. Why I got so much 60K? 30K. And 6,000K. A million. That's overkill. 60 weight shock juice. 1 million again. 20 million. So let's see. What do you guys think I should put in the rear? Top it off. That's what I'm going to do. But the question is, what kind of juice should I put in here? Because this feels super thin. Or like I said, or empty. I think there's juice in there. Because it's not crunchy. It's just... I have 60, I think 60K. I have 60K and 30K are like my two lowest I have. Could be thin. I normally like a little thicker rear diff. Sucks for steering, especially in the front when you thicken it up, but I kind of like having a thinner or a thicker. That's 35 weight shock. 1,000. 100K. But yeah, it looks like I have 6,000. So we could do 6,000, 30K, or 60K. 30. That's what I was leaning towards. Because with the diff being thicker, or center diff, I was kind of leaning towards 6. Because it's a tiny truck. All right, let's do a little poking around with the diff juice and see what the viscosity is versus another one. That's the one thing with these trucks. I wish unless they do, tell you what weight juice is in them from factory. Let's check. Because sometimes in these exploded views, they tell you what weight is in them. Sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. I wish they did. Yeah, it just doesn't even have a diff breakdown. Hmm. Sometimes there's like an explode view of like a diff breakdown. That it came back 60. Is that stock or is that just what you're recommending? It's so weird working in these little trucks. I'm not used to it. That's a tiny screw. Let's see. Arm, arm of put 20. Yeah, just I wish companies would actually like let you know. Like I said, sometimes in exploded views, they're like, "Hey, this is how the gears work," and then you fill it with this, and it just tells you what's in there. I know, dude. I'm so not used to working on these little trucks. They really pulled the bearing off, huh? Son of Okay, I got another one. The truck in the hole is just borderline adorable. It really is. Come on, bearing. These are like the tiniest, longest screws in the history of tiny long screws. And I'm sure they're like super short, but like I felt like I was doing this forever. I was right, they are pretty long. Yeah, it's borderline empty, dude. There's like very, very little in there. Good thing we took it apart. Why's this bearing not coming off? Come on. There we go. All the way. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. It's so tiny. I'm so not used to something like that. All right. We're going to do 30 in the rear. Wants to go. It's like one bloop and it's full. Like borderline too full. Make sure it's down in between all the gears. Give it a little spinaroo. It's all down in there. Looks like it's all full. Yeah, one bloop. That's a technical term, and it's full. Weird, there's no seal. Could there be a seal? Try to get these, let this rest a little, get these bubbles out. Yeah, I need to do mine. Had the green one just sitting in my living room. Haven't touched it yet. Don't want to run it till I go through the disc. Yeah, I I sometimes do that, but I was like, nah, we'll just send it and see what happens. Uh, it's honestly pretty tough. I was shocked. Took some hard hits yesterday. This is also keyed. Man, it's so tiny. Lining these holes up is going to be not that easy. Maybe. I think they're lined up. A little over full. Some of the diff juice came through the hole, but I'm not too worried about it. We'll just do one of those. I'm going to oh so gingerly try to, hopefully the holes are lined up. Where's my, get this out of here for now. Kind of start it with my fingers. Beautiful. So tiny. Oh, that screw stuck to the other screw. Man, I wish I had a little stand for this Kraton Mini that had little shelves to hold the screws so I didn't lose them. Down and get glasses. My 47-year-old eyes aren't quite the same. Small stuff. Yeah, dude. We're not gonna go super tight with this drill, but I'm not gonna sit there and spin that. For that long. If all you did was run minis, you'd have diff juice and shock juice for years. Thing I noticed with actual, you have to go through them out of the box. Both RY RYFTs had next to no lube on those screws in all three diffs. Hence the name. I got you. I've had that with pretty much any brand I've had. Sometimes they're good and full and no issues, and sometimes they're bone dry. Sometimes they're half full. I think it's because they're done on an assembly line, obviously, and they'd probably just go. It has like a machine that drops some in there, and it just closes them. So there's no time for air to escape and stuff. So when everything settles, it's like next to nothing in them. Okay, so that's nice and snug. Let's put this bearing back on. Bearing. Yeah, that's better. Let's get. I'm gonna put just a little bit of grease on these. If I still have some, yeah, I do. There it is. Horizon Arma are weird. Some rigs have systematic diff issues, while others. The experience I ran ADAS Outcast AXB for 3 years, even check the diffs. Yeah, exactly. But I've had that with pretty much any company. Some run no issues ever, and then some. It's just like I said, mass production, man. And it's true at like any hobby. Like you get people that get like a PlayStation 5 and they have a bunch of issues overheating and stuff, and some people get it day one and don't have issues. It's part of mass production, man. We gotta get this little guy into this little guy. And I believe this is the right way. Yeah, they're only keyed to go in one way, so good on them on that. Kind of like how you can see the mesh right there too, which is sweet. I don't want to go too. I'll show you too much because if I tilt it, sand or dirt might get in there. So, just little, little look. I don't know why I stuttered, but all right, we can't put the cover on until we put the arms on, or the arms pins in. So we're gonna close it up before we get any gunk in there. Gonna say cheers if you can. Take a little sipper. Little sippy sip. Sergeant J, what are you doing later? Addicted, what are you doing later? I don't know why I'm yelling all of a sudden. Just got a burst of energy, boys. Look at that beer belly. Man, I gotta lose weight. Look at that. Ugh. Gotta lose weight, boys. All right. Man, I wish I had a stand to hold this up. Let's see. I need something to prop under here. See this? That'll work. Give me 1 second. I gotta use the outside lavatory. Yeah, lavatory? We are back. The tire's going on my gold 10-3 Rock Pirates bill. Oh yeah, dude. Not much hanging at home now. Food and drink gonna make you gain weight. I don't know if that's how it works. Honestly, most of it is because I start working from home and I work 10-hour days and then I don't do anything. So I'm just turning to mush. I've always been a big dude, but ugh, I need to lose weight. Work for home is sick, but you get that just sitting all day. No good. Bad for your body. There's a screw on there. Get off my screwdriver. Thank you. Glad I noticed that. Put this pin in. Greg, much appreciated, dude. You didn't have to do that. Thank you, though, man. Again, when you do that, that goes right to the channel, man. For parts, for memory cards, I actually need a new memory card. That's what this is going to go to. For my one GoPro, I kept freaking out yesterday. But much appreciated, dude. You did not have to do that. I just appreciate you guys being here. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's around your area. Love raptures. I don't know what you're saying, American man. If you guys are interested, maybe we can hang out later in a call. We'll solve the world's problems. Like a few grumpy old men. Maybe, depending on what's going on later. Open this up, like so. There's that little screw I almost dropped right here. Most of the screws on this truck are twos, and this one and the other little one I just did for the diff was 1.5. So pretty convenient. Get yourself, spend the money and get some MIP bits. They are super nice bits. I've only ever broken one. They do wear down their tools, but they bite so good. I highly recommend it. If I could find my two, man, I can wrench all day and not be live and not lose nothing. And then I go live and I forget where I put everything. Are you a 2 or a 1.5? 2. There we go. These go in the rear like so. I have the clutch on this turned way down, but I'm still just gonna do them up by hand, man. With these small, all plastic screws. I mean, not screws, but truck. I just want to not strip nothing yet. We'll save that for later chef to do. Now I gotta try to remember what screws went in here, which I believe are these for the front. Oh no. Hold up. Wait a minute. Because all the ones on this side are for the skid or the chassis support. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Where is the pin retainer? That's the bottom. There it is. So those are 7, 2. I wish they just told me what length they were. I think it's these two, but I gotta make sure before I do it. I don't want to be sending random screws everywhere. But now I gotta look at the part number because they won't tell me what length they are. ARA 70 2007. It's a good year. It's a good year. Let's see here. No worries. Thank you for the advice. The one hobby store. Um, here are a little twat. I'm also gonna, yeah. Uh, I never understood that. Some of those hobby shops are buttholes. I don't have internet with my door closed. I have my hardwired computer, so I'm gonna have to do that on here. So give me 1 second. What was it? ARA 70 2007. No, 2.5 by 16 compatibility. It's the only problem with this on new trucks. Sometimes the part numbers match old stuff, but that should be the 16. I believe these are it right here. Let me grab. We're gonna have to move you guys back for a second. Where's my? These have to be it because they're long. But I'd rather double check. Good thing I did. Like I said, I really think those are it though. Those are all for the top side. Yeah, these have to be it. Yeah, let's put these bad boys in. Getting down to the nitty gritty now. Fishing in the dark. Nitty gritty band. Anybody? Beautiful. Right. So we should be able to put the motor back in, close up in here, put that center back in, close it all up. Then we got to figure out again. If you haven't watched a video from yesterday, go check it out. Where is this? This is the only issue I had where this pin retainer pulled out, and part of it is my ramp, and part of it is because it's so low to the ground. I keep hitting rocks and stuff. So if you notice, it pulled right through, and it is a little wonky now. So I'm actually going to trim up underneath of it right here, just so it sits a little better. Even when it pulls out again, the way this is built, this pulled out, but it stayed attached, so the pins didn't back out. So I had to get a new one of those. Yeah, I mean, what's up, buddy? Sorry, bud. I just seen that. How you been? This thing looks so much bigger on camera. If I had $1 for every time I said that. No. But like that's my hand. So like thumbnails and stuff make it look huge. If only. But yeah, it's I'm honestly super impressed with how it handles that, man. It really blows my mind. They really think they did a good job. And it comes with a 24 tooth. I actually, before I put this in, I think I actually have gears that'll fit that. I'm not going to go through that right now. I'm not going to re-gear or nothing. Because honestly, out of the box, I think it's geared pretty good. Especially when you put the go fast key in, or whatever you call it, the power guard. But again, knock on wood, just that one pin retainer. The delay today seems a little more than normal. How's the quality look? Does it look okay? Again, I gotta work on my lighting. Um, it gets a little blown out sometimes, but I also got a thing that you guys I might make a video on, but it might get demonetized. Um, it's pretty cool, but I think I should. Did I put it in the Dirty Jersey chat? I may have. Now I put it in the RC Guy Garage one. Greg, come back when we're live or even in one of my videos. Let us know what you end up getting and how everything's working out for you, buddy. So before I do this, let me mount this guy like so. Boom. Now we can mount this guy. Get out of the way. Where's the center? Here it is. And no dirt or nothing got in there, so that's good. Yeah, it's just again, you don't have to take it apart as far as I did to change gearing, which is cool. You just take out all these screws on the top, and then I had to use a pair of channel locks to grab it and pull, and it came up. But it makes a really tight seal, and I run in sand, and nothing got in there, so good on them on that. And again, all these screws in the top are the same length, except this one long one goes here, and then there's all the other ones are the same length. And then you got this pin slash thread at the top that holds the battery thing on. And I have to say, all those hard hits and stuff I meant to mention in the video I posted yesterday, this latch did not come undone once for the battery. And it, like I said, it took some tumbles. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. This is the steering. You have to line up this pin with this part that snaps on the top. And I didn't. So I gotta make sure that lines up. Come on. Come on. Get lined up. Nope. Missed it again. Hold on. Before I go too crazy, I got to pull this back up because this pin's not lining up and I don't know why. So we're going to do some detective work here. Oh, that's why. Okay. So if you can see in there's a little pin. It came off the perch down there. So it's for the steering setup. So how the hell am I going to get that to go in there? I may just pull this pin out and put the whole thing back in. So let me see if I can grab this like this. Yeah. So this pin needs to go. There's an arm where this thing is going to sit, and the pin goes right through there. So that's. I'm glad I caught that because my steering would have been all jacked up. Sorry for the bad angle. I'm just trying to. There we go. Lined it up. This one. Does this one have it too? Yeah, this one has to be seated too. That's weird. I don't like that. You gotta get these all lined up before you put this down. How the hell are you supposed to do that easily? That one, I think, is good. And then this one, gonna pull it to the side. Sorry for the bad angle, guys. But I'll show you once I have it all set up. That's a weird design, though. Weird that so, like, they give you so much room. It's like, why not just make it so it fits snug? Hmm. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't like that design. So, there's two metal pins. It's hard to see on camera. But there's two metal pins here. That's where you're steering. And there's like little holes in the bottom that those pins sit in. But there's so much room for them to wiggle around that you have to set those pins perfectly and then put the cover on. If they move, your steering's all jacked up. So that's a really weird design. I don't. I'm not a fan of that. That's just gonna make working on this a little hard when you take that cover off. I feel like that should be like a threaded pin, or at least the bottom have it up higher so you can put the pin on there or something. That's a really weird design. So I think it's lined up. So let's put the motor back in. Hopefully it's lined up. Because those pins go in here. So those pins have to line up and not wiggle out of the bottom while you try to put this on. Really freaking weird. May have got it. This side is a pain. Let me pull this tire off. My little bendy wrench. Need a diffuser for the light. Make it. It's all the lights on my ceiling. But when you're in here, it's like perfect. So I don't really want to mess with them. Loose screw all the time. Got mini zip block bags. Masking tape label. Nice, dude. Looks like it's lined up. This one's still off. How is that off? Oh, wait. We got it. We got it. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a really weird design, dude. So your steering link is so hard to get this on camera. Your steering link in here, like your arm is attached to here for steering, and that's like just free floating. And it sandwiches between this cover on top, and there's a little like cutout on the bottom for the peg. As soon as you pull this off, it's just sloppy until you put this back on. But you kind of have to stand it up and push it together. It's a really weird design. Not a fan of that, but we got it. We got it. Boom. Okay. Now we can put the center stuff back. All the screws back. Yeah, we all lose screws, bro. I have like a whole mason jar just filled with just randoms and spares. So let's put all these screws back. Three, four. Gonna be too bad. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. And this took longer than it normally would because again, I never worked on it before, so I took stuff apart I didn't need to and stuff like that. But again, it's no big deal. And again, this long one goes here, and then all the other ones are the same length. That one goes here. That one goes here. That one goes here. Two more here. Oh, you guys. Sorry. Oh no, wait, you're on the other camera. You're good. Getting down to the nitty gritty. Not much to do after this. Come on. Oh, missed one. Beautiful. Getting down there, man. Hell yeah. OCD from restoring old cars. I get it, man. We all have our thing. It's definitely nicer that way because you keep track. I try, and then as I start doing stuff, I just lose track. I start out pretty good, and then it just turns to shit. If I had a stand for this and like little cubbies to hold the stuff, it would be a little easier. That looks cool without a wing on it. I'm still gonna run a wing, but that one long screw I think is what, because if you turn it now, you can see the receiver move. Definitely a screw there underneath, obviously, but that's all those. Motor is nice and solid. Really not too bad to work on. The only thing is that steering is super weird, man. Um, I think they could have made that better somehow. I gotta remember that for when I do my review. Again, I do reviews after at least 12 packs, so it's not yet. But as I do stuff, it's like I said, I never understood the people that ran it once and do a review because like you haven't even wrenched on it yet, bro. But what do I know? I'm not big or nothing. Some of those dudes have like shit tons of subs. I'm not talking trash either. I watch them. They're good dudes. And it's a whole different beast though. They'll send them for reviews, so they have to get them out like day of and stuff. So I get that. Like, it's a whole different beast at that point. Yeah, put this on again. This has been actually surprisingly pretty tough. This is what holds the battery down. All those hard hits I took yesterday. I'm talking on the wrong camera. All these hard hits it took yesterday and stuff. This did not come unclipped. This is what holds the battery down. Uh, Dirt and stuff hasn't clogged it up or nothing. It's pretty solid. So this gets this little pin thread thing through here. Snug her down. Boom shakalaka. You can put the bottom cover on. The chassis brace, I should say. I think this chassis brace saved my chassis a little bit on some of those hard impacts. That one dude was like thud. Like it's a beast. The cat jump up and the little screws fly. The other one runs and swats it around. Uh yeah, I can see that being a nuisance for sure. That would be sweet for sure. Yeah, I know. Imagine like a little stand and spin and have little spots to put stuff. But now I'm just losing track of screws because I don't have nothing like that. Gee willikers. So I did mark the the longer screw, and that's totally for the ESC slash receiver combo. Definitely goes up through the chassis and holds it down. I just put like a little dot just so I can keep track of it. Again, the first time taking it apart, I want to try to keep track of where stuff goes. But it's kind of self-explanatory now. If I knew where that one longer one went, there it is. It says long ass one goes here, and all the other ones are the same length. The wind is nuts today, man. This is all in. These I'm going a little faster in because they're hitting um, aluminum, and I have the clutch set real low on my drill, so it shouldn't be an issue. A boom, baby. Yeah, good, good, good. And these last two screws go underneath once I put this on, this pin retainer. But again, this is the one that ripped out. So I'm going to try, because it wasn't sitting flush. Again, I got to order another one of those. So I'm actually going to take this off of the wing mount for now and do some finagling with it. That's a technical term if you didn't know. To finagle. Put that there for now. So as you can tell, it's pushed down. So it got ripped out. I'm going to just try to bend it back a little bit. And then there's a little bit of, if you see it's bent in, so I didn't sit flush anymore. I'm just going to cut that little bit out. It's going to pull out again on the ramp and when I hit something, but I need to do something until I get another one in. Should have a razor blade somewhere. If not, I'll grab a new one. I know I have one somewhere. There it is. So I'm just going to try to shave where it's all bent down. It's too small to try to bend back out. So I'm just trying to make it so it sits a little flush. And again, I'm going to order a new piece. It's just, I don't have one right now. So this is what I'm doing for the time being. And of course, I ordered all those parts and I looked at this part and I was like, eh, and I didn't order it. I should have. How it goes though, you always break the part you don't have. No, not perfect, but it should do. If I had a 3D, I'm not saying to you, addicted, but if I had a 3D printer, I would print this piece in that rubber um print stuff, like the stuff that RC guy made for that front part of that bumper. This piece and that I think would be killer. There we go. Because before, if you watched the video yesterday, you see how it was crooked, but at least it's sitting flush-ish now, so it should be okay for a little bit at least. Yeah, you see how bent that is? How far out that is? Let me finagle these bottom screws in first. TPU, yeah, whatever it is. All the snow around here this winter as we wanting to make a set. Set of what? Oh, the kit, remix, axle, SCX10. I've already started designing infusion, but I need the parts. Ah, gotcha. And I did not think that was going to get pulled off because of how flat and flush it was, but it was just enough to grab stuff and get ripped off. And at least it ripped off and didn't like break anything per se. So it's not bad, but like if this skid plate went out just a smidge further, it wouldn't do that. And not skid plate, chassis support. Yeah, this chassis support, if this just went out a smidge further, that would not happen because it would hit the chassis support and not that. So this is why I should be an RC tester. The companies would never send me stuff, but just saying that's something I'd be like, hey, that should be like a few millimeters longer, and that wouldn't happen. That's why in the opening of the video, I pointed at it and said, "Help us, MTC. You're our only hope." Then I'm gonna have to try to bend this back to line those holes back up. I've been very RC busy. Oh yeah, dude, I see. You send me stuff. Definitely check them out, guys. Sergeant J too. Solid dudes. And if you were in my live stream yesterday, again, I'm not gonna say what Addicted's doing because it's not my place to stay. But he's got something badass in the works that I think is going to be a really solid thing. I know it's a bad angle, but this part is bent. I'm just trying to get it so I can get it to start and slowly pull it back. Was 73 a couple days ago in STL, now 21, 50-mile-an-hour winds. Mother, yeah, dude, I know. It's getting chillier here. Again, I can't complain. It's still nice, but the wind is insane. And tonight's supposed to get down to like freezing or below. So that should be good enough for now to actually last a little bit, hopefully. Again, all they had to do is come out that few millimeters more, and that would not be an issue. Put this screws back in. Did I lose them? Must be these two. No, no. These are for here. Where's my two little screws guy? I just had them. Two little screws that go on the side. Where the hell? I literally just had them. Ring screws. Yeah, because these are for the wing. Where the hell did these two little screws just go? Bullshit. I legit took them off and set them right here. Are you kidding me? Because there's two screws here, two screws there for the wing. These two screws hold this down underneath. Where did those two screws go? Oh, here they are. These are, no. I think I put the shorter ones. Yeah, I think I put the shorter ones in the wrong spot. Let me just double check these. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that's what I did. I mixed up because I remember after I took this wing off. Yeah, after I took this wing off, these two screws fell out, and then this one and this one go down, and the two short ones I put in the wrong spot. Yeah, these are the side screws. These are the ones that go down in there. My bad. Easy fix. Two short ones go on the side. I thought they went down in there. Easy fix. I totally forgot the ones when I took that wing off. They fell off. They fell out back there. Yep. Gotta put the wing on first. Chef. Woo. Don't lose that. People out riding today. See that? Yeah. Sorry. I was super focused trying to find them. I appreciate you guys helping. But yeah, I put the wrong ones in here. See, I figured it out. Just took a second. You guys are probably screaming at your screens. Look at chat, you son of a. I'm not gonna snug these down yet because I want to mount the wing like so. Yeah, dude. It part of the hobby, bro. I swear. Don't you miss your home? Go home. Well, it sounds like someone's in my driveway. Oh, I know them. There was nobody. I don't think. Sounds like the guy way back there has his music real loud. But after this live, I'm gonna take a ride back there with the side by side to make sure nobody's on my property. Go in. The holes are lined up. Did I finally start? No. What the hell? These are definitely the right screws. Go in the hole. I don't know why these won't start. Was there? No, there's nuts there. But maybe the nut certs came out. I may have put. Yeah, I know what I did. I know what I did. Bear with me. Bear with me. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, they're just a smidge, are they? I don't understand. What the hell? There's no other two long screws. Double check this thing. Yeah, they're same length. Take these, Greg. Um, I don't know why these aren't starting because these are plenty long enough. And the nuts are still there. Yeah, they're plenty long enough. Why are you not starting? Maybe the nut starts pushed out a little. Hmm. Trying to think. There's no other. Unless no. No, I don't think I did. Just a smidge longer. Will this one start? I may have mixed up the two long screws. Maybe mixed them up. I don't know. I don't think I did though. Yeah, that's. I must have did that because this is definitely longer than the other ones that go in here. I just mixed up my two. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so this one could go in this long spot. Nope, wrong one. This one. No, because this is a flat. No, because that's a flat top. I have one long screw somewhere wrong because this one fits perfect if I can get it to go. Yeah, that one's perfect. So I have one long screw wrong, and I'm trying to think where I put that long screw at. The only other two I think is for this cover back here. that might be it. Gotta do some backpedaling. Yeah, this has to be it. At least I guessed right in the first one. Because this one isn't that long, I don't think. And that's better. Sorry about that, guys. Had to do some backpedaling. I don't have a referee reason you're talking about. Never looks tough enough. Yeah, I was never into the Rift. Oh, no extra screws. We had to do some backpedaling. I put some screws in the wrong spot, but to be expected, especially with Chef Beardsley. Good. It's good. Back together. Boom. We're not gonna do. I'm not gonna do the shocks yet. I want to see if someone's on my property. The music sounds kind of close. Yeah, it happens, dude. I wasn't too worried about it. I knew I was gonna figure it out. But yeah, you see how it hops? And when you take the hard hits, that's what it does. You have to put thicker juice in it. Yeah, that's that hop. And that's good. We thickened up the center diff. We put diff juice in the rear because it was basically empty. It'll be good. Function check, right? We can hold it in my hand, turn it on. Let's see. This battery. I do like the attention to detail, like to hold these plugs. When you plug it in, they go in here and solid little rig, man. It really is. Power button. Oh yeah, I could just feel it already. Like I'll hold it loose. Yeah, it's gonna want to flip good. Definitely gonna wheelie like more. And that's I'm not doing that with my hand. That's the truck. It'll be pretty stout. Because I meant to film that when I did it when I first got it. It definitely wasn't that Aggressive. Yeah, it should be the ticket, man. Hell yeah. So I'm just rewatching the playback of it going in my hand. Could be the ticket. Thickening it up just a little bit. It has juice in the rear diff now. Only other thing is, again, I want to thicken the shock fluid because it's got that hoppiness to it. And then yeah, I got to order a new one of those pin retainers for the rear. But other than that, she's all buttoned up, ready to go, man. Hell yeah. Make sure the body still fits. Boom. Hell yeah. He's done. Got to do the shocks, but we're not doing that now. I haven't eaten yet today. Eat some food. Great live session. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, man. Let's see here. Let's put the. Just gonna put my diff juice away. We didn't touch the front. I want to run it before I do the front diff. We'll see how she does. Should do pretty well. Just feeling how it did just when I was brapping it in my hand. Definitely more oomph to it. Greg, you have an email address? Can send you some of my. Oh yeah, just I'll check out your channel if you have a post there. But yeah, we're gonna end it. I want to go eat. I'm starting to get a headache from not eating. In 2 hours, it was a longer live. But yeah, again, I took it apart more than I had to. But again, it was the first time wrenching on it, so trying to figure out where stuff was. Put two screws in the wrong spot, but that was an easy fix. And yeah, we put should be pretty dialed, man. Pretty dialed. I took a look at a skate park today. I might go there in one early morning, and get a run in there. Looks sick. It has a pool and a bunch of other concrete craziness. So it's not far from my house. So gotta take a look at that. I want to take this there. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But we'll end it like we always do, wherever you're in the world. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night. And I'll catch you guys soon, man. Let me get inside. Make sure nobody